Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on, guys? It's Filthy and I'm back with another video. Today we're doing a champion guide. I'm looking at Peydma from the Demon Spawn. Now, she's probably one of the first epics that I pulled. She is pretty good. She's got quite a nice kit and she is very usable. Maybe not end game viable for lots of different stuff because other champions might outshine her, but her kit is good, so I will show you in detail. And I do like the fact that you can play with her without using any books, which is obviously very nice. But before we jump into it, I just want to welcome anyone who's new to the channel. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And as always, guys, a thumbs up is greatly appreciated. So she's defense based. That's obviously a pretty good start, so that means that she'll be able to take extra hits and also be able to output more damage as you increase her defense figure. Her kit is fairly nice. The Agonize, which is the A1, this will attack one enemy 2 times. If you get a crit on either of those 2 hits, you then have an 85% chance of landing 50% decreased attack debuff on all enemies. So I use her for clan boss. She's my attack down champion in clan boss. This is great skill. It just means that the clan boss has decreased attack the entire time. Now obviously you don't need books for clan boss because 85% chance for 2 turns is fine, particularly if you don't book out the rest of her kit on a 4 and 5 turn cooldown. But if you do want to use it in dungeons and you do want that consistency, then you might want to put the books into her to get that up to 100% chance. Now, because you get 2 hits and only one of them has to crit, that means you don't necessarily need 100% crit rate. So by way of example, let's say you had 90% crit rate. Well, if you whacked an enemy 100 times, out of the first 90 you're going to crit, the second 10 let's say you're not, then in that next group for the second hit, again you've got a 90-10 chance. So basically what it means is that you're going to get 99 crits out of 100 is what you'd expect. So I've got it geared at like 85-86% crit rate, and that, because you get 2 hits, 2 chances to crit, means that you've got a 98% chance of activating the chance to place the decreased attack. So attack down champion, very nice. Now the damage, funnily enough, is based on defense and attack. Defense comes first, that should be the bigger modifier. So it doesn't really hit that hard, but it does do a bit of damage and it does get the decreased attack on everyone. Now A2 Flesh Wrap, this is an AoE skill, so that's quite nice. 35% chance of placing a 50% decreased accuracy debuff for 2 turns. Again, similar to the A1, based on both defense and attack, with defense coming first. Now you can book this up and you can increase your chance to 50% of placing the decreased accuracy buff. You can also take the cooldown down to 3 turns. Now, decreased accuracy is probably one of the weakest debuffs in the game, so again, it's not necessarily fundamental to put books into it. You know, it's not a bad debuff, it's just not really overly helping you out. You'd rather it was something else. Now, her third ability is really fun. This is it can be really frustrating, but it is really fun. So Appropriate, she will attack one enemy, she'll basically steal all of their buffs. So it doesn't matter how many buffs they has, she'll just rip them all off and stick them on her. Now this one is only based on defense, so no extra attack is going to benefit this, so just purely defense. You're going to want to gear defense anyway. You know, I'm not saying you should gear for attack for a A2 or A1, but this one doesn't benefit from it. Now, if you're going to use her a lot in arena, I would probably put the books into this, because having this on a 3-turn cooldown in the arena, as hopefully we'll show a little bit later in the video, could be very powerful. Again, the AI on this is pretty pants. She'll try and rip buffs off people, so as soon as this is off cooldown she'll just use it even if they don't have any buffs. Really annoying, because what it means is that if you know someone's about to buff themselves, she might just use this and then you've got to wait. So I'm waiting 5 turns, but you could end up waiting, you know, 3 as I say if you booked it. In terms of total stats, I've got her at just under 3.5k defense, 1.5k attack, albeit that's very secondary to 2 of her skills. 40k HP, speed 205, crit rate 87, which is giving us a really good chance to crit. Again, we'll show you that when we take her in a dungeon. Crit damage 87%, I'd like that to be higher, but I'm just about dipping my toe into endgame, so just making my way through it. Debuff resistance really low at 70, so she will get the crap debuffed out of her. Again, I can't really fix that where I'm at the moment without jigging a build around. And debuff accuracy is 195, so that means she should be landing that decreased attack even up to the higher ends of clan boss and on pretty much any dungeon content up to level 20 in the game. Okay, so looking at Peydma's match trees, what you're going to want to do is go for offense and support. Depends where you're going to use it as to how you're going to build it, but you want to take definitely crit rate and also crit damage from the offense tree. Life Drinker is pretty good for clan boss because you're going to heal when you're lower than 50% health. Can be useful in dungeons and the arena as well. Then I've gone for Bring It Down, more damage against max target or enemies with higher max HP, I should say. So again, kind of clan boss build. Dungeon bosses as well, I suppose. Methodical, increase A1 damage as you go up, so again, clan boss kind of thing. And then War Master, again, more damage against clan boss. Now, I've also got Kill Streak on. This probably isn't really ideal. Again, if you're going to use your dungeon content, that's fine. If you're only going to take clan boss, then you're not going to benefit from that at all. In the support tree, accuracy, then again a bit more accuracy in the second one down. I've got Exalting Death, heal this champ when she kills enemies. Again, that's useful for dungeons. If you're going clan boss, you don't really want it. You might be better off going for Heart of Glory, so that when she does get healed up in clan boss, she does more damage. Then Arcane Celerity, 30% chance of increasing turn meter by 10% when her debuff removes. So obviously she does debuff, so that makes sense. Swarm Smiter, again this is more kind of dungeon focused. Increased accuracy for every enemy alive. If you're just taking a clan boss, you probably want to take that off and pick something else. So maybe single out. So increase the damage as the clan boss health goes down. The next row is fairly interesting on the support tree. Lore of Steel, if you've got basic artifacts, is going to be great for you. Cycle of Magic, again depends on whether you're using it in dungeons or not. Having that 5% chance of getting a cooldowns refreshed, or one of them coming back easier, can be useful. But then also Evil Eye, the decrease in turn meter, again is also fairly useful in dungeon. So again, either of those are fine. So again, depends how you geared it. You could dump the book and go for Evil Eye, that's absolutely fine. But you obviously do want Master Hexer, 30% chance to increase that reduced attack, so the 50% attack down for 3 turns rather than 2. So ultimately, provided you're ending up at War Master, providing you're ending up at Master Hexer, you're picking up accuracy and crit rate, then it doesn't much matter, I suppose. For artifacts, I'd say crit rate gloves are probably mandatory, unless you've got really baller gear and you've got crit rate substats everywhere. You're going to want crit rate. Now the good thing is, because you get like your 15% naturally, you get say some good 4, 5 or 6 star crit rate gloves. If you do take some masteries to increase your crit, maybe you've got a bit in your Great Hall, you can find that you don't need crit rate substats anywhere, so that's pretty nice. If let's say you do get loads of really good substats with crit rate on, defense percent is definitely the way to go for the gloves. Defense percent on the chest piece, obviously defense based character, it's going to make it hit harder, it's going to make it stay alive. Now I've gone for speed boots just to try and make it nice and quick. Again, if you had really good substats for speed, maybe you could go defense percent, maybe all 3 defense percent or 2 defense percent, 1 HP. Substats, obviously you want speed, you need to manage your crit rate, so again it depends on the gloves you've got whether you want to take crit rate or not, but HP percent, defense percent, speed, all those types of things on your bottom 3 would be pretty nice. Now top 3 for the shield, for the helmet and for the weapon, you're just looking for substats, so defense percent, HP percent, speed on the shield would be really nice. Again, on the helmet, ideally you want speed, maybe pick up a little bit of crit rate, but defense percent, HP percent would be good. So this helmet's not very good. And then again, weapon, you can't roll defense on it, so HP percent and speed, maybe some accuracy if you need to pick it up. Looking at the jewellery, a flat defense ring would probably be best. Defense percent, HP percent on the secondaries would be very nice. Amulet, crit damage would probably be quite good. I probably should swap this over to crit damage. She's got quite a lot of defense. I'm not going to lose too much by jacking her with some more crit damage. We know she's going to crit quite a lot, so I probably should roll up one of these amulets. But I've only got 1 crit rate damage amulet at the moment, and substats aren't very nice, so it is what it is. Banner, accuracy, definitely you wanted to land that attack down, decreased accuracy and buff stealing. She needs the high accuracy. Again, HP percent, defense percent, speed would all be very, very nice on her. So that's the kind of thing. Now I've got 2-piece speed, 2-piece from the battle pass, which is the divine life set, so we get that shield, so that's good for dungeons. Clan boss, you wouldn't need it, so again, try to just gear her out so that we can show her off in a dungeon. I've got a split set for the last two, so I've got one set speed as well, and then just nice pieces. This is, these boots are pretty crappy, but they're the first 6-star speed boots I ever had, so I rolled them up and stuck them on her. And again, Divine Offense, it's just got nice substats basically. So where does she shine in this game? Well, Clan Boss, she's in my team, she does do really well, but she does have a few other areas. Now, Magic Keep is amazing for it, because that Guardian's got like a huge shield. She'll just steal it and stick it on herself, so that's really nice. Boss Keep, again, really good there. That guy will put up a huge increased defense. She can steal it, so it's pretty good. Any of these keeps, they only run up to level 15, so she can handle herself absolutely fine in any of them. Minotaur, again, very, very fine. And then realistically, any dungeon she goes on, she can be decent. She's got the attack down, she can do the decreased accuracy, she can steal buffs off people. But if we do take her into Dragon, if we just stick her through 19, which is where I'm currently farming, and if we just take her in there, and we'll see kind of like the problem with her AI, why it's a little bit annoying. Now we've got Stag Knight in the team. He does decreased attack and decreased defense, so obviously you wouldn't normally go for both of those two things. It's a little bit redundant, but I kind of want the decreased defense because otherwise the run just takes a bit too long. Now with a crit rate and the 85% chance to land the decreased attack, obviously there's block buffs up at the moment, so she's not gonna get it off. But we'll probably see. Yeah, she got it off twice there, so that's fine. So pretty handy. One of the annoying things though I find is that she just won't use her appropriate ability well enough. I mean, she's just done it then. She's stolen some defense, stolen some attack, ripped it off the enemy character, which is obviously good. Does help with the wave clear, stripping the buff, so putting the bucks into her would not be too bad, but it's just a question of you're always juggling champions in this game. Which ones are the best? I don't have many books, I've only got a few left. I'm kind of holding out for somebody better, just because realistically she's for Clan Boss, which is mainly where I use her. She is pretty good. So as you can see, she's chipping away with a bit of damage, getting the decreased attack off every now and then. 85% chance is pretty high. I'm going to leave it. I'm probably not going to book her unless I happen to come across a load of books. But again, she got it off there. 3 turns decreased attack. It would be amazing if a kit had decreased defense on it as well, but that probably would be just a little bit too OP. But yeah, as you can see, she does hit fairly hard. She's stolen some more buffs as well whilst I've been chatting, so yeah, she's pretty good. This kind of level content, she's not useless. She is quite good. She will take you, you can use her at this level basically, but is she end game usable? Probably. You could probably do Dragon 20 with her in your team. It's just a question of, are the better champions you could take. So if I was going up to the next to 20, maybe I take out Stag Knight and put in Razin, and maybe she'd handle the attack down. Razin would do decreased defense on the on a dragon. But at the moment my Kale doesn't have high enough accuracy to get his poison debuffs off. So, but normally speaking, I do this in about 2.5, 3.5 minutes. Just depends on how the RNG rolls. And normally I think I put Warlord in this slot just to block any of the dragon's crap that he lands on us. But as you can see, she does do a bit of damage. I'd like to gear up with a crit damage amulet, just increase that up a little bit. But she can be, the point that I'm getting at, guys, is she's very, very usable, which is obviously pretty good. Now, Arena is probably where I'll show next, just so that we can go through the kind of stealing buff mechanic. As I say, that's quite fun. It's quite cheese, to see people jack themselves up with loads of buffs, and she can just steal them. But yeah, I mean, obviously I've got some nice champions in here. Ignatius, pretty good champ. Reliquary Tender's great for Dragon, so she can handle that kind of stuff. And it's a similar story for all of them. Ice Golem, she's fine. I'd say Spider is probably the weakest area. Again, she'll get the decreased attack off on all the Spiderlings, so that's great. So they won't hit as hard. But again, she's got no turn meter reduction or anything like that. So again, she can be part of a team. She's just not going to be the most important part. But if we just quickly show Arena, and if we, somebody like Whirlum is quite good, can probably fight this player and do fairly well. Speed might be a bit quick, yeah, so we can rip those shields off, but I think we'll just basically put the attack down on, wait for somebody to buff themselves up, and then once they've done that, we'll just rip them off them, and then and try and steal them. So we've got some buffs up now, so we'll just not flatten these guys just yet. Wait for her ability to come back round. So now you can just click on whichever character you want and you can go, great, I'll have all those, thanks. So you even steal the shield, you know, the self shield that they start the round with. You've just pinched them, and now Whirlum's very vulnerable and you could attack him. So she could be quite fun, and if you did put the books into her, that would be pretty interesting to play around with. But hopefully speaking, we can just finish this and then get on to the next part. Her AoE, obviously decreased accuracy, was quite handy in arena as well. But you know, fun champ, somebody I have enjoyed playing with. But as I say, it functions quite well without the books, which is pretty much a godsend in the game today because there aren't that many books about. But I think we'll jump into clan boss next. I'm on brutal. I've got only one other player in my clan, so it's been quite hard to rank myself up to here, but we'll do a brutal fight and we'll see where we are. Now, in terms of clan boss, guys, I'm just going to show you the start of the fight in the first couple of rounds just to show you how she does, and then we'll clip it because I don't want to subject you to the entirety of it. Not that it's overly long, but basically this is where I mainly use her now. So she didn't get the decreased attack off on that go. Obviously, you know, it is only an 85% chance, but once you do get it up there, so I've now got it on, it's on for 3 turns. I've got Warlord debuff extending, so it will stay on there. But even if I didn't have him, the decreased attack would stay on for the entirety of the fight. So as an attack down champion for clan boss, I'd say she's pretty good. There's not that many that are going to be better than her. It's just realistically for clan boss, there's nothing else much her kit is useful for. So it's literally just the A1. So that's why I haven't booked her, because this is where I see her staying for me for quite some time, is as my attack down in clan boss. And it seems a bit of a waste of books to make her better at other stuff, because I've got some other champions that I'd like to use for dungeons. But if you're not that fortunate, if you do just have her, if you pull her early as an epic, then she can do quite well for you in dungeons. Not going to be the star of the show, but she can be very useful for you. So as I say, we'll jump out of this now and we'll wrap the video up. So here we go, guys, getting towards the end of this clan boss fight. Now, one thing I should have said is, in terms of her artifacts, if you are just using her in clan boss, it depends on what champions you've got as to whether you want lifesteal gear, or, you know, if you've got someone who gets a leech debuff off, then great. I've obviously got Warlord and Apothecary, so healing's not much of an issue. I tend to be healed up quite well. Raz is in lifesteal gear, so he is normally the last one to go down, but he doesn't last that much longer. So Peydma is second highest damage dealer for this particular run. Again, we could buff up her damage a bit more with a crit damage amulet. So yeah, she's pretty good champion. I do quite like her a lot. So that's it, guys. So just to wrap it up, we'll do the ratings. Magic Keep, I can't understand how you rank her less than 5. She rips the shield off. Clan Boss, I think for an epic, attack down, she is absolutely fantastic. You know, it's a role you need to fill, so I would be giving her 5. Arena Offense, I think she's a 4. Again, you'd need to book her to get that A3 down onto a 3-turn cooldown. Arena Defense, she can be quite irritating to play against because she does all that buff stealing. Again, it depends kind of how well she is geared. 3, maybe 4, I'd say. Minotaur, absolutely fine, she'll do that, only goes up to level 15. Campaign, she's okay in campaign. Obviously she's defense based, she'll get you through it. I probably will put her as a 4 because she's not really mega quick at it. Dragons, as we saw, we took her through a 19, so she's decent at that. I'd say it's hard to grade a 5 because her kit probably for me needs a little something more to get a 5, but she's 4, she's pretty good. Fire Knight, she does have multi-hit A1, she will do decreased attack. I'd say, yeah, she's not amazing there. I'd probably still say 4. She's okay, you know, again, as like part of a team, she'd be alright, but it wouldn't be her best area. Spider, I think, is kind of similar, you know, she's probably quite decent up until the first 15 levels. She does offer decreased attack. There's no buffs, she doesn't do anything with turn meters, so maybe 3 for Spider, maybe it should be 3 for Fire Knights as well. Ice Golem, I think she's fine there, pretty good. Force Keep, I think 5 because she can rip off that defense. Spirit Keep, she's not doing any kind of heal reduction, so again, she's absolutely fine, she'll smash it up to 15, but I'd give her a 4. Void Keep, similarly 4. And then Faction Wars, yeah, she is obviously pretty good. Decreased attack, AoE for faction wars, so you know you're not going to have too many better characters for her in your demon spawn. So yeah, that's the ratings, so we'll send those off. Right, so that's it guys. So the only thing left to do is going to be to do the shard pull. So we're going to do this at the end of every video. So let's see who we get, and fingers crossed it is somebody good. I'm completely out of ancients because it's double chances, so screw it, we'll pull a void shard and see who we get. Fingers crossed it's somebody nice. Seducer, now he's a good champ. I've already got 2 of them though, so lucky me. So maybe I'll use him for a skill book, or maybe I'll keep him, I don't know. Undead Hordes, I'll have to look through my roster for that. But that's it guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave me a thumbs up if you did, and I'll be back with some more raid content just as soon as I can. Take it easy, peace.